Servant Leadership in Action by Tisha Cox. Here is the table of contents. I will introduce the servant leadership. I will explain the meaning of a servant leadership. I will be talking about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Kathy Miller. And I would do a comparison and reflection, and I will give my takeaway. Introduction to servant leadership. Servant leadership is a philosophy and set of practices that emphasize the leader's primary role as serving others rather than exercising power or authority for personal gain. Rooted in the ideal that true leadership emerges from genuine desire to help others and empower others, this approach prioritizes the needs of team members, customers, and the broader community. In 1970s, Robert K. Greenleaf, a servant leader, challenges the traditional models by fostering a culture of empathy, humility, and ethical responsibility. By focusing on the growth and well-being of individuals, servant leaders aim to inspire trust, collaboration, and shared success, ultimately creating organizations and societies that are more inclusive, compassionate, and effective. As a servant leadership continues to influence various sectors, from business and educational to nonprofit organization, highlighting the enduring importance of putting others first in leadership practice. The meaning of servant leadership. Servant leadership is a leadership philosophy where the primary goal of leadership is to serve others. Unlike traditional leadership models that focus on accumulation of power or authority, servant leadership emphasize the well-being, development, and empowerment of team members and stakeholders. Origins of servant leadership. The concept was popularized by Robert K. Greenleaf in the 1970s. Greenleaf's influence essay, The Servants as Leader, described a leadership style rooted serving others first. He believed that effective leaders are those who serve their followers, helping them grow and perform at their best. Greenleaf model challenged traditional leadership, emphasizing empathy, humility, and community. Empathy. Understanding and sharing the feelings of others, creating a supportive environment. Listening. Actively paying attention to others' perspective, concerns, and ideals. Stewardship. Taking responsibility for their organization and community, ensuring resources are used responsibly. Committed to growth. Encouraging personal and professional development for oneself and others. Humility. Leading without arrogance. Foresight, anticipating future needs and consequences to make informed decisions. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was an American civil rights leader and a Baptist minister. He is best known for his leadership in the nonviolent movement to end racial segregation in the United States during the 1950s and the 1960s. King played a major role in events such as the Montgomery bus boycott and the March on to Washington, where he delivered his famous speech, "I Have a Dream." His efforts contribute to the passage of landmarks like the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights of 1965. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was a distinguished leader and an advocate committed to social justice, community service, and education. He embodies servant leadership by prioritizing the needs of others, fostering collaborations, and leading with humility and empathy. For an example, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., he funded local membership programs aimed at underserved youth, demonstrating his dedication to uplift communities. His efforts to create accessible education opportunities have helped bridge gaps in opportunity, inspiring positive change and fostering community resilience. Through this action, He amplifies the core principle of servant leadership, serving others to promote growth and collectively well-being. Kathy Miller. Kathy Miller is a community leader who I know has served for over 10 years in the Newberry community. Kathy amplifies servant leadership through her unwavering commitment to serve her team and community. Instead of focusing solely on her own success, she prioritizes the needs of others, actively listening to others and providing support where needed. She leads by example, demonstrating humility, empathy, and genuine desires to help others grow and succeed. Whether organizing training sections, offering mentorship, or stepping in to resolve conflict, Kathy's actions reflect her belief that leadership is about empowering others rather than asserting authority. Her selfless approach fosters trust, collaboration, and a positive work environment, inspiring those around her to also embrace a servant leadership mindset. Comparison and reflect. Kathy demonstrates of servant leadership can be closely compared and reflected in the leadership style of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Both amplify a deep commitment to serving others and advocating for justice and equality. Dr. King's leadership was rooted in humility, empathy, and genuine desire to uplift communities, much like Kathy focused on supporting her team and community members. King's nonviolent approach and emphasis on moral integrity minor Kathy's selfish acts and her dedication to empowering others. Both leaders prioritize the needs of others over personal gain, inspiring collective action and fostering trust. In essence, Kathy Servan's leadership reflects the core principles of Dr. King's leadership, serving with compassion, humility, and steadfast dedication to creating positive change. My takeaway: studying servant leadership has significantly reshaped my view of what effective and ethical leadership entails. Now, traditional leadership was often viewed through the lens of authority, power, and control, where leaders are expected to guide, direct, and sometimes command their followers. However, exploring servant leaders emphasizes the importance of serving others, prioritizing their needs, and fostering their growth. This perspective highlights the true leadership is rooted in empathy, humility, and a genuine commitment to the well-being of others. It encourages leaders to listen actively, build trust, and create an environment where their followers feel valued and empowered. As a result, I see leadership less as a position of privilege and more of a responsibility to serve, uplift, and enable others to reach their full potential. Overall, studying servant leadership has deepened my appreciation for the human and ethical aspects of leadership, reinforcing the idea that effective leaders are those who serve first.